Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. Today I'm doing a replay review for Gugalgz. And yeah, he's a subscriber on Twitch. And he emailed me a replay. I said I'd review it for him. You can see here 841 ladder rating versus Soul Current or Soul Current, 140 points higher, so pretty close game, I'd say. It's not too big a mismatch. And yes, we have Aeon for Gugalgz. He's against a Cyber in the map. It's Ambush Pass, so 5x5 map. And we're just gonna focus on the fundamentals here. That's what 5x5 is all about. The fundamentals. So, first land. So far, this is fine. I would probably make... Well, one thing I'd say is I would make a couple of the mexes at least with the commander, because this is what'll happen. Otherwise we end up with a mass stall. So generally you want to be making factory 2 P-gens, maybe 3 P-gens. P-gens being power generators, and then you want to make a couple of mexes, 2, 3, 4 with the commander, and then you go back to power and more factories. So you can see this is why. It's because you need those mexes quickly. So that's definitely a mistake, and the scenarios where you would make only factories and power with the commander would be maps where you are immediately running towards reclaim. So he could have done this if his first engineer had maybe run to this position or up here. Then he wouldn't stall mass. So not the great start, but also he's recovered it now and it looks fine. He's going for 4 power generators. He's making a second land factory. He's made a lab. The lab is moving to the expansion. One thing I always say about labs is that you can judge where the enemy's engineers are roughly by where yours are. So you can see he's very far from this expansion. So sending a lab here now is not... He's not going to find anything here. He needs to run towards this corner or send the lab down to this corner basically, because that's where his engineers are. So it's an easy way. When you have your lab out, just look at where your engineers are and pretend you're attacking them, but on the other side of the map. Another issue here, we have again a mass stall. So I think the expansion is quite good. It's pretty fast, but well, except for this mex here, but yeah, more reclaim. These rocks should be the prime consideration in this map, because that's a lot of extra mass in those rocks here. So now we have the lab. See, the problem with the lab is it's not gonna a lab is not a defensive unit almost any time. I mean, sometimes it is, but generally not. So if a mantis comes through here, it's gonna kill the lab easily, and it's gonna raid the mechs or the engineer and the mechs. So yeah, this is not a good use of a lab. Making a lab is good on this map, but this is not the way to use it. Okay, now the ACU leaves the base after 2 factories, and we're going to be floating resources here. We're getting raided. And this mantis is probably going to kill a mass extractor. And actually there's 2 mantis here, multiple mantis here. So here's another issue. If one mantis had come on this side, there'd be nothing to defend. As I said, the lab is not going to defend. So on a 5x5, there's not many places to send things. Generally on a lot of them there's 2-3 lanes, quote unquote, and everything that can shoot is on this side right now. which leaves us like totally exposed. So definitely if you send the ACU to this side, you want to send maybe even the majority of your tanks to this side. In terms of the build order, it's not too bad. We had some mass stalls earlier on, but now, I mean, we don't have a lot of resources in the bank at the moment. We are overflowing power, which is not great, but it's okay. It's an okay build order so far. Looking at the meter here, it looks like our opponent has a lot more reclaim, and they are ahead on mass right now. Okay, the lab, you can see it was an early investment and it didn't do anything. It's very likely that it could have killed something had we moved forward with it when it was built. Labs you want to be aggressive with. So at this point we're behind. And woo, that's a lot of units here. So we can see we got raided. We are slower to our expansion. Our opponent is taking the other side, so at this point we are basically behind our opponent. And we also have less units, so it doesn't look too good. Doesn't look too good right now. Our opponent clearly has a pretty decent build order, honestly. Surprisingly decent for this level, I would say. Although I'm not watching too many games at this level. So, what's going on? We're making it a PD to at least slow down the commander. That's fine. Without any units to defend it, that PD will die quite quickly. We don't have any engineers heading to build these mass extractors. So what we should be doing is the commander can take this number of units quite easily. So we should be attacking. We should, I mean, if we have the time, if we have the ability, then we can click on some of these wrecks and then just move forward towards the enemy base. Abuse the commander. He's a killer. Especially on a 5x5 map. Very often walking into the enemy base on a 5x5 will be a game-winning move. I mean, of course people are afraid they're going to lose their commander when they do that and lose the game, but it's a very powerful move. And on this game at the highest level, it often, and on many other 5x5s, it can often turn into a race between the two players as to who gets into the enemy base with their commander and also some artillery first. So we're building mass extractors, that's fine, but we're not using our build range, so if we move to here and then build the mechs, the mass extractor we'll have it finished a lot sooner. But really we should use the engineers to be building here, use the engineers to reclaim, and maybe get a forward radar so we can see how many units are in front of us. But mostly we need to push. Get going. So here comes, so this PD is going down for free. Our enemy could head towards our base here, for sure. There's clearly nothing to actually stop the commander here. We're also going to lose a radar. I mean, our mass has been kept pretty low. We could probably have built factories a little bit faster, but I mean, we're not floating tons of mass. We have pretty even map control. So it seems okay. The problem is because we don't have radar, we don't actually know how many units we have versus us. So our opponent is still likely to be ahead because, well, he was ahead earlier on. Alright, let's see how this engagement goes. This is pretty good micro. You can see you can see the commander is at the front. The commander is always shooting. This is an accident. This happens at every level of the game. 0 to 3500 ready. You just accidentally click on a mech and you get an assist order. It's pretty annoying, but it does happen. But in general, this is pretty good micro. See the Aurora kiting away, the commander's shooting, and looks like we're gonna crush. We are going to crush this fight. Now this is fantastic. So if we were behind before, we should be ahead now. I mean, this is amazing. We just killed rakes of Mantis. We have 26 Aurora left over. And you can see they all have, you know, at least 30, 40, 50 mass killed. Some of them have more. This one 84 mass killed. So they've all killed many Mantis together, and this is a crucial point in the game. We're also floating resources. And there's how much mass on the screen? 2,000 mass, right? 2,000 mass. That is more than 1/5 that Gugalgz has produced in the entire game, including the initial, you know, maybe 1,000 or more reclaim that he got from the rocks at the beginning. So this is the critical moment, and this is where I think Gugalgz goes wrong. First thing he should do is, well, he should probably queue up a few more power generators, you know, not this many. You never want to queue up this many 5x5, but you know, just queue up some extra P-gens, because that will prepare for using this mass, and it will prepare him to potentially make the gun upgrade, which is always extremely strong on pretty much any 5x5 map. The gun is king. So that's what he should have done. Queue up some P-gens and then queue up factories. Maybe with these guys, queue up a couple extra factories. And then maybe grab these 3 guys, head forward, click on one of these, and then attack move and begin reclaiming. Also this guy, come forward, make a radar, so we can see what's in front of us. On the other side, you can see there's no push coming. There's no units coming. The ACU is chilling. And we just killed what must be most of our opponent's army. It should be half his opponent's army at least. And the ACU, instead of walking forward, which again it should be doing, he is building, it's queuing up 4 factories. It takes so long. It's 30 seconds. That's 2 minutes that the commander is going to be standing here. He's like, it's just not the way to use the commander. He needs to be, you know, fighting, defending the reclaim field, putting some pressure on. Over here, this is just a lack of attention. Medusa are just attacking and killing a lot of Aurora. And there's PDs in the base, okay, so we still don't really know what's going on in the enemy base. So again, P-gens and an air factory would also be good. Get an air scout overhead. See what's here, because maybe our opponent has multiple T2Xs. Maybe our opponent has the gun. Maybe our opponent is making the gun. Maybe our opponent is making air. We have no anti-air, so we could just get bombed. We could get absolutely bombed. We could get Jester sniped. We could, there's a lot of things that could kill us or show us that we're actually in a bad position in the game or something like that. So an air factory at this point would be good as well. And again, we need more power generators. When you get reclaim, you probably need more power. So the AC starts walking forward. He doesn't commit to all the factories. That's good stuff. Starts moving forward. And let's see. I mean, we can see here that still we're behind in mass. We're behind in mass income. I'll give you a hint. That's because our opponent has a T2X. But if we had a forward radar, we would see exactly how many units are in the base. We could get a radar really far forward here, you know? And we could see whatever number of units are in front of us. And similarly if we had an air factory. So we're attacking, but we're not attacking with the commander, because the commander's making the gun upgrade. It's probably best to wait to save the units for when the commander is ready to push. Okay, so on this side, enemy commander reveals himself with the gun. There's still tons of reclaim here. Look at this. Oh, actually I don't have my selection UI, so I don't know. I was reading the wrong number earlier, but yes, we actually do get into the base and actually kill his army without even the commander, which is quite amazing. And yeah, if you get into the base with this many units, you should be in a good position. Now we lost a lot of units to this PD. We have an artillery. The attack move is not too great though, I gotta say, because yeah, more units being wasted here. A lot of units being wasted. We need this is such an important battle that this has to be microed a lot more. Ignore this side. This side is fine. Ignore even the economy. We're in the base with a lot of units, so don't attack move. Micro, you could have killed the PD with artillery. I mean, you already killed a lot of stuff anyway, but yeah, you could have killed the PD, saved a lot more of your Aurora, and maybe you could have killed all of the power as well. But still, that's a huge amount of damage. We finished one of our gun upgrades. The second one is paused. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is just a lack of attention, I guess. They're getting reclaim here. This is good. It's good, but still, I mean, you have reclaim right here that's been here for a long time, so you know. More units dying. Finally, the PD goes down. It must have killed a dozen units, though, unfortunately. And this one's gonna kill some more. So that's quite unfortunate. We still don't have the gun, because, I mean, we still haven't added power from the initial build order. Now we're adding some, but yeah, quite late. And you should finish the gun. Even if you stall, just finish it. You're so close. It's worth stalling a bit to finish that. Also, if you had walked into the base without upgrading, maybe you just kill everything. That's another thing to consider. And once again, forward radar would have made it a lot easier. So here we go. This side, you can see with your radar that there's nothing here, so you should probably probe here, attack, and kill this. I mean, you can see there's like 5 units. The PD is dead. You also have mass extractors that you could take here, and on this side these could have been taken. So definitely a lot of things that could give you an advantage. Mass extractors elsewhere on the map. Kill this PD, take this reclaim here. There's a lot of reclaim to take. That's a major factor. Now we're walking into the base again. There are hoplites. We can see the rockets firing. There's an enemy commander with the gun, so it's actually a lot more tricky to attack now, because our opponent has been teching. He's also grabbed all the reclaim that we've deposited in his base. And also we can see here what Guga can't see, which is that they're 5k mass behind, mainly because of well, T2 mass extractor, and we're not taking the reclaim that's ours. We don't have energy storage, another big factor, especially when against rocket bots. You want to be able to get rid of those rocket bots as soon as you're in range of them. See, multiple of these could be dead already. Okay, now we have energy storage. There goes a rocket bot and a mantis. It's a nice kill. But we are losing a lot of HP to the enemy commander. The enemy commander is dodging our fervors, so there's a lot of fervors here and they're not really contributing to the fight. We are against better units. Rocket bots are just a fantastic counter to Aurora. And our opponent has stealth on his commander. That's not the best micro from the red player at this moment. But, okay, we retreat. We have low HP. Finally, it looks like this side will die. This could have died a long time ago. There's a lot of mexes that could have been taken a long time ago as well still. And we are just very focused on attacking. When in reality, I mean, if you think right now, you're taking out this expansion. There's loads of reclaim here. There's loads of reclaim here. You don't need to attack. And you have low HP. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, mainly you need to focus on getting the mass. Step 1. The mass that's freely available to you. And then proceed from there. I mean, you attacking with such low HP against superior units, against a commander that has stealth. If you had air would still have been great here because we could keep a scout overhead to spot the stealth commander and actually use our range, which we can't use right now because of the stealth. We could also bomb power generators. We could bomb hoplites, which are very vulnerable to bombers. But in general, you could just stop here. You could make T2 land. You could make T2 land and an air factory. Take back the map over here and relax with your commander. Just defend the superior map control. Take the mass. But we're tunnel visioning on pushing. But this stealth is really the issue. We should be able to outrange the enemy commander, but we can't because of Cybern's stealth. There's also a stealth bot there. Another thing Air Factory would have shown us that there's T2 land. I think this is the HQ is over here somewhere. We've never seen it the whole game, so it's a big issue. And now we're in draw territory. So the ACU explosion does 2,500 damage. So as soon as you go below 2,500 HP and there's any enemy commander in range, he can control K, that is self-destruct, to get a draw. At this point the enemy commander has a lot of HP, so he could have even gotten a kill here. He's dropping low. We're on 1,700. Enemy commander on 1,000. We just overcharged the commander, killing him and in effect killing ourselves. And they both GG, and Red says well played. So yes, I think the unit, I mean, some units were forgotten and things. I think the micro was pretty good. The attention across the map was not so great. I mean, we can see these guys got forgotten about. This whole side could have died a long time ago, and we could have taken it, not only killed it but captured it for ourselves. The micro with the commander and the units was pretty good. But we need more attention towards reclaim. Clearly, this fight here, the initial fight where we killed the load mantis with our Aurora, should have been really a really important moment where you take a big lead in the game, but because you didn't get the reclaim, it didn't really turn out that way. And but overall it was pretty well played, but plenty of things to improve upon. This should have been a win, I would say. And at the end we got a bit tunnel vision and we're focused on attacking when really we have a superior position, and we just need to maybe add an air factory, take what we can take already, especially the reclaim. So there's a replay review for Guga. And yes, that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out other videos. Check me out on Twitch and become a patron as well if you want on Patreon. And I'll see you next time.